Hey guys and gals, I trust you had a fantastic weekend. For me it was a mixed one. Had a friend pass away, a friend of our family's passed away on Friday. Saturday had a fantastic event at Spartan Race on the Gold Coast here. And Sunday was a celebration for Father's Day. So a little bit of up and down and some joy and some sadness, but all part of experience in life. And for the last couple of Moonshots I've talked to you about, or shared about, our mind being a lighthouse and also a storage facility for what we create and use as thoughts to power our actions, habits and behaviors. And I'd mentioned to you at the end of the last Moonshot that I'd talk to you today about how to overcome challenges and what challenges are for. So we know we're going to face challenges, and it makes sense to do our best to prepare for them. And some of them we're either thrust into a position of challenge and opposition, or we know that we're going to face them and we can prepare for them. Those ones are a little bit easier to work away with. We can mitigate some of the risk, we can prepare some contingencies, but for those events that we find ourselves possibly at times unfairly placed in, thinking, why has life dealt me this card? Or why is it that in the company I'm the only one that's having to do this? Or why is it that other kids can run around and play and I'm stuck in a wheelchair? So whatever the challenge is, and there's many, and I'll share a couple of them, the difference between who wins as a result of the challenge and what the outcome is, and who fails to the extent that the failure becomes lifelong because they won't see the lesson and the opportunity for growth, all comes down to one key element. And that key element is perspective. It's the way that you see and the way that you view and therefore respond to perception and create the perception. Now, this perception can either be intuitive or responsive. And so it's a responsive element that I'll possibly share a couple of things with. So you may or may not know someone who has a debilitating or a disabling disability that doesn't allow them to participate fully in what we might consider to be a normal life. You may have been diagnosed with a cancer. You may have a really close loved one who was growing in leaps and bounds as a person and as an individual with so much to contribute towards life ahead of them, that was suddenly and drastically taken from this earth. And each of those different situations, and many others that we might find ourselves in, we treat as being unfair. Most would back away from this, or withdraw, or want to know more why this has happened, so that they can look for a reason or an opportunity to blame it on something. And I found that, without being rude here, that a loser mentality is to blame, complain or justify. Whereas a winner's mindset is more on looking at the opportunity and how they can make the most of it. So if you take somebody who couldn't read or write and ask, well, what good are they going to be? And for some, teachers and schools and assessors have said to children, you're not going to amount for something, or said to parents, your child's not going to amount to something or to anything, so I suggest that you do A, B and C, and they'd be kind of simple tasks. Don't expect too much to happen with this life, unfortunately. And you take some of those and then say, okay, well, how is it then that Einstein couldn't speak until he was 3. And Thomas Edison couldn't read until he was 12. And Wilma Rudolph was told by her mother that she could achieve whatever she wanted, even though she was born with polio, a crippling disease. Started to learn to walk at the age of 8 and spent 3 years in leg braces. And her biggest wish was that one day she'd walk without braces. So it took her 3 years to be able to do that at age 11. Yet 9 years later, at 20 years of age, she wins 3 gold medals at the Olympic Games. So how you view the challenges that you're faced with is going to have an impact on the way that you think about what you're confronting, as to whether or not you see it as being a challenge which is given to you by life or by your organization or by those who know that you have more to give, so that you can develop courage, so that you can develop strength, so that you can develop character, so that you can develop your skill. Or you view it as simply a stumbling block. Winners have learned to turn stumbling blocks into stepping stones. Winners have learned to turn obstacles into opportunities. Winners have learned that challenges are to make you courageous. In the things that you face in life, some of these, as I've said, you'll get to prepare for, others you won't. One morning I woke, almost 14 years ago, found a lump in my lower abdomen. 2 days later, I was advised by my doctor that I should have immediate surgery because my blood markers showed cancer activity that had increased 1,500% in 2 days. Had the growth removed, was diagnosed with a very aggressive cancer that was through my body. So you have choices. They said, Mark, you can do one of 3 things. It's through your body. It's going to form another tumour somewhere else. It's a matter of, do you want to wait, and then we'll address that then? Do you want to try some small doses to see if we can control this? Or do you want to completely attack your body with some highly toxic chemicals, but give yourself a 95% chance of living? So I'm not one to shy away from challenges. And I don't want to be thinking about this the next day and the next day, and wondering in 2, 3, 5 years whether this is the day that I'm going to wake up and have this. This is the night that it's going to happen here. I wanted to get rid of it. I wanted to attack it. You don't get an opportunity or a chance or a book that sort of says, okay, when this happens with cancer, you should do this or you should do that. It's just thrust upon you. So when these things happen in your life, then you got to ask yourself, has somebody else experienced this as well? You're going to find most times that yes, somebody has. Have they got through it? Yeah. Did they grow from it? Yes, absolutely. Beethoven was born deaf, yet he wrote music that's so wonderful. Helen Keller was born blind, yet she formed a civil liberties group. And we know that Nelson Mandela, despite vilification from inside a prison, changed the world. Your life is filled with opportunity, and that opportunity comes in the form of challenge. It comes in the form of opposition. What you do as you face that will determine what you will become. Look for great things in your life. Face the fear. False evidence is appearing real. They haven't happened. You'll determine whether they happen. This is your life. You have control over it. Go live it. Live it with strength. Face the challenge.